Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Today, early as it is, will pass through as yesterday. And in this day and during these hours, we, the people, are going to get a chance to experience some of the things that we experienced yesterday and some new stuff. And it's all going to lead straight down the same path. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that there's a way that is called love, and it is beautiful. We as Americans and people of the world are not really experiencing those things that are beautiful as a mass of people. Some of us are, and some of us aren't. And that is not by happenstance. That is by design. That is by a plan. And I'd like to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are in an amazing moment. We are in an amazing moment at a beautiful time. Right now, we are being challenged. And we are being challenged about our character, about who we are. And this decision has been before us quite a long time, but not like it has been most recently. Recently, we have recognized that there are a group of people on this planet and in America that is planned on turning things around. They don't like the way things are. And I don't blame them, neither do I. And most of the people who don't know what's going on and are not satisfied with the way things are, they are just looking for change any way it comes. And right now they are being taken. Dutch, get out of here. Come here. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Come here. Go to bed. Go to bed. That's a little strange one. I allow him to, her, to dwell in a different space. She asked to do it, and so I permitted her to do so. And the reason I had been hesitant about it is because I knew the end of that game, which is something presently now, 3 or 4:30. Well, anyway, what I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, is this. They do not, the people who are fed up with this and don't know what to do, just looking for a way out, they are being exploited by someone who wants to take advantage of that. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, let me call his name, so I don't want anybody to just think it's somebody else. Donald J. Trump. Now, he knows that the people are hurting, and he's promising the people that he's coming to their rescue, and they are hoping that he is. And they know that he is doing something that is not usually done. He's lying right before the American people and getting away with it. He's breaking down their national institutions and getting away with it and making promises that his people believe that he can actually materialize. And this first one, or second one, should I say, is to say that he won this election. And they believe he did because they expect him to be able to do anything. At least they want him to. And where he's leading them is away from anything that they want. He's leading them straight down the path of hell. And the path of hell, he's God. Don't you hear them say that we cannot even go forward as a political party without this Luciferian expressive human being calling himself Donald J. Trump. We cannot even go forward. And you know what they mean forward is. You see, they just got through, in some form or fashion, excommunicated to a degree. One of their own for standing up for truth. Oh, truth is not accepted over here, they're saying. And they're saying it to the American people, but they don't look at it as a lie because their new God has taught them that it's just a different way of looking at things. It's just an alternative truth. They got theirs, and now Trump and his got theirs, and they clash. Now, Trump and his are willing to do anything to get their way. They are willing to do anything to get their way. They represent the 400 plus years of oppression that blacks and people of color have had to endure. That's what they represent. It meant nothing. Lynching, killing people, massing them, blowing up their cities and towns, it meant nothing. But that they were willing to do anything to represent evil. And Trump knows that. That's in the records. That's history. All you got to do is study it. The people are crazy. The people have no direction. If you come in bold and say anything and be bold enough and bodacious enough, they will accept it, except unless it is the truth. The truth is kind of hard to comprehend because you never heard it, many of you. You've heard everything else but the truth. Well, the American people can recognize through the killing of George Floyd and all of these other murders by the power of government and the force of gun and supremacy, all of that. And these little panty-ante lies that they're talking about what they're going to do to kind of straighten things up. I can't even believe that people who've been through the suppression are even listening to that stuff. I mean, who want to hear that? What the heck does that mean? It means nothing. So why sit down and act like it does? Hoping, no, that's not going to happen. Evil is going to be evil. That's the way it is, and you can stop thinking somebody's going to ride down on a cloud, baby, and save you. You're going to have to let that cloud come through your own cloud. You see what I'm saying? But just make sure it's on the right cloud. You can't be on that path that they're on. Well, what kind of path that you can be on? Well, there are two other paths. One path is that you can go the heavenly path. What is the heavenly path? The heavenly path is where everybody that's walking around breathing, who feel pretty good, or those who right now can't walk around and feel pretty good because they're sick or going through some changes, would have working in their behalf something to make sure that if there's anything humanly possible to cause them and enable them to rise up and be happy, it would. Well, heavenly is recognizing that peace is a beautiful thing, that prosperity is a magnificent thing for a nation of people, for a world of people, that freedom, the ability to do what you want to do, to sit on your porch and drink your alcohol if you want to sit on your porch and smoke your marijuana if you want to, and really, if you want to smoke your cocaine or whatever that stuff is, you can do it. That's your human right. And you got, now, let me just go on top that since I'm talking in that area. And if you decide that, well, you've been around long enough and whether things in this world, the way it is now, are too bad and you don't have anything to do with it, or in the world that I talk about, it's so wonderful that you think you've had enough and you want to die, that's your right. That's your God-given right. You don't have to stay here. God isn't making you stay here. So, but the path that this heavenly thing I'm talking about, continue, is the joy. Everyone, I'm talking to all of you. I don't care who you hate, who you're mad with. Joy in your life. Joy. I'm going to tell you what that joy is about in a minute. And then the fulfillment of your dreams. You all want your dreams to come true. Is not one amongst you that does not want your dream to come true. You pray, oh, if I only could have my dream. You could, but right now your dream is all believing that it can only happen through selfishness. We're living in a world of selfishness, of greed. And so you can't even understand what you're begging for, you're hoping for, your dreams being fulfilled. Well, the thing that makes it possible for your dreams to be fulfilled is the same thing that gives you your greatest joy. And what is that gives you your greatest joy? Every human being on earth would appreciate to know what it is that they came on this earth to do. And I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what it is that you came in the earth to do, but you do. I'm going to tell you how to identify it. It is the most precious, the most wonderful thing that gives you your greatest jubilation, gives you your greatest satisfaction from doing. And now I'm not talking about having sex. But to get up to do it, most of you are not doing it. Some of you are. Most of you who are doing it play sports or some type of athletics. Some of you are entertainers. And really, some of you are engineers. Some of you are guys who are sending spaceships up to Mars. You see? people who are kind of satisfied with their lives, dreams coming true. Now, many people aren't. But in the heavenly expression, because you got a gift, whatever it is, might be teaching, might be cleaning toilets, might be painting, might be making mirrors, might be making TVs or telephones, or rings or diamonds. But whatever your gift is, having the opportunity to exercise it, to get engaged in because most of these things already happen. It's just happened on a foreign system that's destructive to the plans of life. So now you're going to use these systems that's been set up to do the righteous things, and you're going to make sure that you're engaged in there and having as much fun and joy as you possibly can. Every last one of you. You and you. Blacks and whites and young and old and Americans and Chinese, whatever your shade is. White, all enjoy your lives. You're engaging yourself. And what comes back out of that? I mean, what is the return? What is the profit from that you're all doing? Oh, man, you are overwhelmed with food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, all kinds of it, even going to Mars and going up there and just floating around in there. Infrastructure, and basically whatever you can imagine, it is open to give it all of the energy it can to cause what? Creation. Now, and in that process, ladies and gentlemen, there are no wars. There's no lying and there's no cheating. Why? Everybody's satisfied. There's no stealing. There's no racism. There's no hatred. There's no bigotry. Why? Because everybody's satisfied. And they themselves are the makers of it. They're the ones that's causing it to happen. No jealousy and greed and selfishness, because we're all one. We know that now. We can recognize the benefit that we play in the lives of others and what they do and what they play in ours. Now, that's an option. You could take Trump's option or that option, but there's still one more. One more is the status quo. The status quo. The way things have been basically all our lives. And a few more promises about what we're going to do about the problems that have been recognized, articulated, what it's going to take to try to make things better. See if we can take some more cops from harassing you, Africans and people of color. See if we can make the system be a little bit more open to you and your educational ambitions. Even see if we can get more of you in school, maybe make you engage you in being in medicine. Well, we have done you wrong. We got to acknowledge it. Now, who's saying that? The same one, basically, my friends, who has played a part in everything that's been happening for all of these years. But don't get funny now, because you've been playing a part in it too. Your part is that you were ignorant. What about them? They have been ignorant too. That's why they're doing just what they're doing. They find comfort in the status quo. The fact that something is happening that's ugly and bad to somebody else doesn't affect them. What do you think is happening in Israel? The Hamas, all this bombing, killing. And over there they want to say they are the chosen people, the children of God. What kind of God, dude, is allowing that stuff over there to happen? I tell you what kind of God that is allowing that stuff to happen over there in Israel and what's going on over there with the Palestinians. I'll tell you exactly what kind of God it is. It's just the same God that's sitting over there with Donald Trump. Didn't those people over there, those church people, tell you they thank God because God sent them Donald Trump? Didn't they say that Donald Trump is prophecy answered? They're not concerned. They're not concerned whether it's negative or positive. They just say it's prophecy. And the Billy Grahams, and well, sorry, Billy, for calling your name, but you were right on my lip. No, I'm not sorry. And all the rest of them over there talking about God. And people suffering all over this country. And everybody that really stood up in this country as an individual to bring attention to what's right has been shot down. And we have said, okay, well, we'll go along back to normalcy. And that is what opened the door up for Donald Trump. You see, Donald Trump want to take you to the first low. And the message that I want to tell you is that God want to raise you to the highest high. Now we got hot, we got cold as cold can be. I almost said hot because it's foul there. And we got hot over here as hot can be. And in the middle is lukewarm, cool, whatever you want to call it. And what is it? It's about nothing. It's about war. It's about hatred and bigotry and all of the ugliness that we have. It's about a time when people can start talking about any kind of thing and doesn't make sense, and nobody's trying to find any real solution. Families are breaking down, can't understand with the simple things of what it takes to be strong and stand together. Well, they can't do that with your brothers and your sisters and your mamas and your papas. How you going to do it with your neighbors on the left and neighbors on the right? How you going to do it with your neighbors in the middle and the one at the bottom and the one at the top? How you going to do it? You can't. So what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is that in the middle of Trump trying to take you guys to hell, I want to say, I want to see you go to heaven. And I'm going to do what I can to play the role that I've been given in this process. I ain't trying to be your God, but I want to tell you where your God is. Your God is invisible, and you have the right and the authority to allow that God to come into you, and you become a physical representation of that God on this earth, and we will know what God you serve by your outcome. It'll either be up there with Trump, or it'll be up there with those headed to heaven. Or it won't be nothing. You'll just be hanging out there in what you call normalcy, in the safe zone, the place, the birthplace for all of that stuff that go to hell, sitting right here in normalcy. Well, I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. This is Eddie Marcus, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.